Breaking news on Martyn Lucas Investor. We're looking at NVIDIA Corporation, ticker symbol NVDA. I've got some bad news for you. I'm going to be looking at the worst case scenario for NVIDIA and what I think can happen and where I'd be buying more. So let's get straight into the video. Remember, everything I say in this video is not financial advice. Do not trade on what I'm saying. I'm only doing this for entertainment and educational purposes only. I do love the art of charts, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys here today. I'm not giving financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. So NVIDIA, we are at a key point. We're at this 116 level, that I keep talking about. We need to break it to the upside to then continue on the uptrend to try and make all-time highs again. But the longer we're below it, the longer we're considering this as resistance, the more likely we are to come back down to this $97 range. And then I'll show you the worst case scenario. But let's first look at what needs to happen to continue being bullish on NVIDIA. So if you look at my previous videos, what I've been talking about is these lower highs. We had the highs of $140. Those are the all-time highs. Then we had these lower highs back in July the 11th. At around $135. Then I brought this to you where I said this is probably going to turn into a lower high and we're going to hit $100. That's exactly what happened. We hit $100 and then I was bullish. I said we're going to $116. That was my take profit zone, my first take profit zone. My majority of profits were taken at 116. The reason being, there's multiple resistance points that were previous support points. This downwards trending trend line, this upwards trending trend line that formed all the way back in January of this year. And then we had this horizontal trend line at $116 from the previous all-time high and the support and resistance. So there's a lot, as you can see, all these points come back together over here. And unfortunately, we're at $116, which is sort of just below $117 where all these resistance points are. And for that reason, because we're below $117, we're at $116, this could just turn into what happened last time, which was a lower high, which was a more defined lower high. So what we drew here last time, and then we dropped down, we might be looking at another situation where it's another lower high, and then we're coming back down. If we want it to be bullish, we need to get out of this zone that there's a lot of trading going on. I predicted that there's going to be a lot of trading going on. I predicted it's going to be a resistance zone, and it has been. But for it to stop being bearish, we need to have some more volume to the upside. We need to break $116 and maybe this week hit our first target of $124, break this previous lower high. We need to break the previous lower high of $130, and then we can consolidate around there and then break all-time highs. We need to start stepping up through these resistance points. Otherwise, what's going to happen is we're going to continue moving down, and this will happen step by step. So for the first step to start turning more bullish is we have a few daily candle closes above $117. The next stage is a few, and then you start becoming more bullish, and then you can start moving your take profits higher. You break above $124. The next major, this will be a major breakthrough, is when you break $130. Then you're much more bullish that we're going to hit all-time highs, and that's another $10 per share. Once you break $140, we will have this conversation again, and then we'll be looking at where the next targets are. But a sneak peek is the next target's around $172. That's on the bullish side, but there's a lot of resistance overhead, a lot of barriers we have to overcome for that to happen. The more likely scenario, in my opinion, is because we're already below this resistance, and this can change this week if we get above the resistance. But right now, what I'm looking at is a chart on Sunday, which shows the last trading day of Friday, and we were below the $116.86 level, which is basically below that resistance, which means we're more likely to come back down. And now I'm going to talk about why I am bearish on NVIDIA. Because we're below the resistance, I look at charts, and when you're below resistance, you're more likely to head to the next support, and the next support is around $101. Once you hit $101, we have been here before, we've been here once, twice. The more time you knock at a door, you're going to break through the door. So then you do have the chance of breaking through this level of support between $96 and $101. And if that happens, you'll probably retest it, come back down, come back up, people get excited again, and then they'll dump on you again. And then you're looking at the level where I can see it coming down to, which is between $71 and $76. That'll be an area where I'd love to buy some more NVIDIA. If you're going to be liquidated, if we hit $70, $78, then I'll be very careful of your position. Again, not financial advice, but I would, if my liquidation point for NVIDIA was around $74, I would be very, very nervous right now. And then, of course, there's the amazing point. If I ever buy shares of NVIDIA around $50, I'll be very happy. I'll be very annoyed if I don't have money to buy NVIDIA shares at $50. Remember, it can still happen. There are freak events. If we do go into a recession, for example, $50 becomes much more likely. If we hit $70, $50 seems much more reasonable. So I'd love to have some money. I keep some money on the sideline in case NVIDIA ever comes to $50, and that's a major support around that area. So be careful. NVIDIA can be coming down to $70. It can even come all the way down to $50. But for that to happen, we would have to break the major support at $100, which is not very likely, but it is still can happen, and I still would love to have money on the side to buy it at lower levels. Otherwise, I'll be really annoyed that I didn't and I went all in at all-time highs. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to chase the market. You want to make strategic decisions. Yes, that's my update on NVIDIA. If you did like the video, please do hit the like button. If you did like this video, then you might enjoy the one up here and down here. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.